can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Hey, how we doing out there? Today, tonight, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you're at, and we know it's prime time sometime, all the time, somewhere. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we're glad to have you with us today. Another great day in broadcasting history as far as the Conservative Syndicate goes. And I just like to, I was thinking this morning, this little thought came out of my head this morning. We at this show really, I think, really do a good job at what we do. I think we're really good at what we do. When I'm in my travels in the morning and I go out and as I'm on the road and I listen to some of the other shows and stuff that's out there, just, sometimes you can glean some stuff off of other shows. Sometimes you get a confirmation of where you're going, the direction you're heading is good. And sometimes it's just about the content, and I really am beginning to notice. I don't know if it's, what happens when you get to a certain level, but I know that more and more of these talk shows, I'm beginning to cruise around the radio the same way I cruise around my TV. And a lot of these shows are becoming all about the host and the producers of the show. It's all about them. Rather than anything outside of them, it's their book, it's how the media is talking about them, it's their latest DVD or whatever it is that's out there, and I hope you appreciate the fact that we try to stay focused on the important things, which is the issues and what's out there and how it's affecting America, and trying to do our best to exert some influence through education, information, and engagement. But the show is not about us, okay? We're just the conduit, and I hope we never lose sight of that. So having said that, let me get the other side of the conduit on here. My friend and good buddy, Joe Hakos. How you doing today, Joe?
I'm doing good, John. Doing really good. As deplorable as I am, I'm still doing pretty good.
Well, we deplorables, we just have to power through. That's just the way it is,
And we always will power right through this, the deplorableness of everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and redeem some of my S&H green stamps, if you remember what those are.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to go ahead and redeem some of my S&H green stamps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a cigarette lighter I want to buy. Yeah, that's probably way too old. Some people might remember those things. You used to get those in the stores and used to get those stamps, and you'd redeem the stamps for certain items that you'd like to get. Just one of those things. No biggie, John. It's just out there. It's way out there, just like another Star Trek reference or something.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But I'm fine, John. I'm doing okay.
No biggie. I'm feeling kind of loose today. I kind of spent a little bit of time cruising around on TV last night just to see what everybody's talking about. Not really getting into the details, because the details are irrelevant. Most of what's being covered right now is just so irrelevant to anything that's really should be the center, of the conversations going on right now. I'm just totally fascinated at even how easily now even Fox News steps into these rabbit holes and spends all their time I certainly wish. I've been hearing all these rumors about Megyn Kelly. I wish she would go. I keep hearing this stuff. Oh, her contract. She's going to leave and blah. I'm like, get it over with, man. This woman is Rachel Madcow with a better haircut. Is it's just her obsession. It's like she's as obsessed with taking down Trump as Rachel Madcow is. There's no doubt in my mind about that. The guests that she's starting to have on her show are more left-leaning than they are right-leaning, and it's not that she wants them on there to debate. It's like she wants them on there to confirm what she thinks, that kind of thing. It's really amazing how this is all about. Well, let me put it in context for you guys. I think I mentioned it briefly yesterday. But the narrative that's out there, I know what it was. I stopped for a few moments on CNN. Don Lemon had some guy on there. I forget who he was. He's from the Washington Post or someplace. I don't know his name. And he was, reciting the narrative that this is absolutely the worst week that he had seen in any race, any presidential race since he's been covering races. And he was an old guy, so you figured he's probably around Bob Woodward's age over there at the Post or something. So you figured, okay, well, maybe the guy's been covering. He didn't say how long, but, guys like this, they're old and everything. And, okay, they've been around 30, 40 years maybe. And this is the worst, absolutely the worst week I've ever seen in any presidential candidate since I've been covering politics, And that's the narrative. That's the narrative on Megyn Kelly. They were talking about, is this the worst week of any presidential candidate? That kind of stuff. So it's all being framed the same way. Donald Trump has just tanked, and he's in a death spiral. People are starting to question his sanity, all this stuff. And it's like, oh, geez, is going to be able to recover? What's the GOP going to be like? Are they going to survive this? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, all right. And I couldn't help it as I was sitting there thinking, I'm going, I get the feeling this has just been being regurgitated. And so I did. I went out on the internet and I did a search. And lo and behold, guess what I found? I found an article back in August of this year by Christina Wilkie over at the Huffington Post, dated August 6th. So that's, 2 months ago? A little over 2 months ago? What's the date? What's the date today? Today's October 4th. Okay,
yes.
So 2 months ago. All right.
Okay.
And this was right, well, it was just after the Republican convention, or the DNC convention, I'm sorry. It was right after the DNC convention, which was, the beginning of July or something like that, right? Anyways, it had to be the last week of July. I'm looking at the dates here. I'm trying to just place the dates on my mind. The article is dated August 6th. And it says here, she starts the article out by saying, for Donald Trump, the past week has marked a fresh low in a campaign that has already sunk modern American politics to new levels. But unlike the GOP presidential nominee's previous nadirs, such as his call for a blanket travel ban on Muslims or his false claim that the father of Texas Senator Ted Cruz was involved in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, this week has actually hurt Trump's campaign. A lot. Polls taken late this week show Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton leading Trump by double digits nationwide. The businessman is even behind in deep red states like Georgia. So what happened? The short answer is that Trump waged war against everyone from the family of a fallen soldier to his party's top officials. So just shortly after the DNC convention, we're hearing from the media that Donald Trump has just tanked. He's got a double digit gap now between him and Hillary Clinton, and now they're out there today, or in the last couple of days. The article I'm looking at right now from Bloomberg, Sahil Kapoor. The worst week of Donald Trump's presidential campaign began with a widely criticized debate performance and ended with a bombshell report that he could have avoided paying federal income taxes for 18 years. All right, so he's in the tank now. But the difference is the gap between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, if we want to believe the polls, I'm using the polls just because there's no other measure of making my point right now, is at best 6 points. So there's a single-digit gap between now, which they're calling the worst, and the double-digit gap that he had the last time they called it the worst. So the point I'm getting at here is if Donald Trump is in a death spiral, but is still only losing by 6-7 points, what does that say about Hillary Clinton? You've got to ask yourself these questions in context. And it tells me that what it tells me is that the media is full of it. They're full of crap. They're just
really?
Yeah, they're just rehashing what the media does. What the left does is you take the same narrative, you repackage it, and you throw it back out there. It's new and improved. New and improved. Extra 20% for the same price. That kind of stuff. It's a marketing ploy to make people think that, oh yeah, it's all over. It's all over. It's been all over for a year now, according to the Clinton campaign, and we're still sitting here looking at the fact that Donald Trump pulls in 10, 15,000 at a rally, and Hillary Clinton's lucky to get 500. So I just putting it out there for you, folks.
Well, I think what they're thinking is Jeb Bush is going to be the nominee.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna maybe towards the end here we're gonna have that crash and burn that'll allow them to do whatever they do to get we maybe resurrect Jeb Bush. I have no idea, but just don't buy into it, folks. That's my point. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll get into the day's festivities. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Clinton audio leak, a couple of leaks, a couple of things going on out there. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net,
where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back. And if you don't know, you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we're glad to have you with us.
John, you are so articulate. I just wanted to bring that out there. I know you were going in a whole other direction, but I just wanted to bring out I want to try to use as many as I can of the 35 dumb expressions put out by James Madison University because they're trying to create safe spaces.
Okay.
So I just figured I'd just bring those out because, it's a 7-page speech guide on how to talk. So it's 35 dumb things well-intended people say, and it's passed out to James Madison University student orientation leaders.
I'm sorry, say that again?
It's passed out by student orientation leaders. Passed out to student orientation leaders. And it was like, wow, what is this stuff? Did you even know this existed?
No,
this is pretty awesome, John. This is an article about it. I'm looking at it. It's in the College Fix, and it's done. This is done by Kate Hardiman at University of Notre Dame. It's done today, right? And it's 35 dumb things well-intended people say. A list passed out to James Madison University student orientation leaders.
Oh, okay.
And on the list, number 9 was "You are so articulate." Okay, so that was number 9.
Okay.
And let's see, number 9. Let me go back here. I'm just trying to find number 9. Number 9, and they give you an actual, hey, cause and effect of this. You are so articulate. It's meant to be a compliment to someone's verbal skills. But the actual impact is the person making this compliment is surprised to discover that the other person is more competent and intelligent than initially presumed. This is a condescending, belittling, which leads the person to be insulted.
Wow.
Yeah. So don't worry, I'll get to another one. But just wanted to get to that one, because. Because I don't want to be condescending to anybody, and I want to make sure that we try not to, insult any or hurt any of the feelings of the precious snowflakes that are out there looking for safe spaces, and they might have accidentally come across the Conservative Syndicate, and this is a safe space-free zone.
That's funny. Funny.
Funny. It'd be funny if it wasn't true, but and as part of this guide, John, hold on now. This is how this is building an inclusive environment, John. Maybe we should start doing this. And this is weird, dude. Number 1 on this list is one of the most important responsibilities you have as a frog is to create a safe and inclusive environment for your first-year students. Use this handout as a resource to help accomplish this goal. So I never knew you have, as a frog, ribbit. Seriously, frog. So I had to look this up, John. This is no kidding. I mean, this is what I did on the break. Right? Frog. Oh, James Madison University Orientation Office 2014. Here you go. First year orientation guide. Frog.
Fraud.
Frog. Like ribbit. Frog.
Oh, really?
Ribbit. Frog.
And
fraud. No. We're not doing the Discover credit card commercial. No, we're not doing that. It's frog.
And so, what is all that supposed to mean?
Well, this is how you build an inclusive environment, John.
Oh, I get it.
This is how you build an inclusive environment. You know, it's things like some of my best friends are blah 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
I know exactly how you feel. Blah 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 blah. Or I don't think of you as a human being, or 11 feet tall, or a precious snowflake, or an idiot, or here's number 4. The same thing happens to me too when I act stupid and dumb.
Okay.
These are phrases that you're not supposed to say because somebody might feel excluded.
I get it. It's kind of like, don't wear sombreros on Halloween because you'll piss off the Latinos.
Could be, maybe, I don't know. But if you take and you wear the sombreros at your favorite adult beverage station, you might get free margaritas.
You know, and I remember when I was in the Navy, we used to go to a place down in Florida, I believe it was, down in Pensacola. When we flew into Pensacola. I'm thinking it was there. I might be wrong on the location, but I know I was there a lot. It was a place called St. James Infirmary. And it was a really cool bar. It was an aviation bar. And when you went in there, they just had, the walls were just covered with memorabilia, memorabilia from aviators and stuff like that.
Yeah, some zaps and stuff. Yeah, little stickers here and there. Yeah,
and it was unique. You know, it's like the floor always had peanut shells all over the place because they give you peanuts. You just dump them on the table, and you dump the shells on the floor. So it was like, you know, it was just a really unique place.
Si, senor.
Yeah, and in the middle of it, they had this large coat rack hanging from the ceiling, and on it was probably, when I was there, 300 bras hanging from this thing.
Wow!
Not and the thing was, if you were willing,
underwear.
Well, if you were willing to take your bra off and throw it up on this rack, then they would give you a free round. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that was the gig. But your analogy about the frog, it's interesting because as you were talking
it's
here.
Actually, no kidding. That means something, John. That is exactly what I've said. It means it is first year orientation guide.
Yeah. Well, you know the story of the frog, right? The one that they put in a pot of water.
Yes, and it just lays there and then comes to a nice boil like America.
Yeah, and the frog just sits there and doesn't realize that it's being boiled until it was too late. You know?
Well, I mean, this is some serious stuff at James Madison University there in Ohio.
Yeah. I wonder what James would have to say about that.
Well, I don't know, but from the orientation office, I mean, this is from 2014. I don't know how current it is, but, review the position description. Make sure you have read the entire position description on page 3, especially the important dates and details, and are able to fulfill all expectations, because to be a frog, you have to be a special person.
Oh, my God. I mean, there's all kinds of things dancing around my head right now.
I can imagine, John.
Yeah. Do they have classes in becoming trans species or something like that? You know, it's like...
Well, I don't know, John, but a successful candidate recognizes the main focus of the position of frog is the first year successful transition to James Madison University. The desire to make a difference in the lives of first-year students and their families demonstrate a commitment to the orientation program and its mission to prepare students to be active and authentic participants in the JMU, that's James Madison University, learning experience.
You know, it makes me wonder. Some of these universities are not cheap to get into. I mean, this is a university that we don't know a whole lot about, so it's probably, it's like this one where they're holding the debate tonight between Tim Kaine and Mike Pence, Farmville University in Virginia, and it's supposed to be like a pretty elite college, really expensive. And it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder what transpires in the thought process of an adult who goes out and works hard and gets a lucrative career doing something. Maybe starts a business, or maybe becomes an engineer or whatever. And whatever they do, they become affluent. They make a lot of money in whatever it is they choose to do. And then you turn around and you take this money. And you grab your kid by the arm and you say, we're going to go down to the university down here and get you enrolled. And you listen to something like this, and you don't process that what you're hearing is a bunch of crap.
Oh, John, it gets better than that, dude. Orientation engages students in the learning experience by preparing them to be active and authentic members of the university community. And as a frog, this is great. A 2014 orientation team is one. Together, we work towards betterment of those touched by our services and the forward progression of James Madison University. As a volunteer associated with James Madison University's orientation office, I understand that I will be successful if each member of the orientation team commits themselves to a high level of excellence in which you only need let me see, what's the grade point average you need to maintain? I think it's 2.4.
2.4.
2.5. It's a minimum 2.5. So if that's the excellence they're looking for, at 2.5.
That's a D plus average.
Well, that's the excellence they're looking for. But I say, you think this is funny? This is serious stuff. Serious stuff. But as a frog, I will strive to selflessly serve as the first-year students by making a positive difference in their lives and the JMU community.
Mom and Dad are going to spend $100,000 over 4 years so that you can maintain a D plus average.
And be a frog. Hey, also, I will adhere to the alcohol policies of the university. I will not consume alcohol or any illegal substance within 24 hours of an orientation event. I will not wear orientation paraphernalia, including my frog shirt, in the presence of alcohol. I will not direct or invite students into parties where alcohol or other drugs are used. That's frog.
It's a frog. Is that their mascot?
No, that's what you are when you're a frog. You're the first-year orientation guide.
Oh, okay. The first-year orientation guide, or the frog. Okay, all right. I missed that in the beginning of this great conversation.
Sorry, dude. I just saw this. This is just too... But you are going to be committed to high levels of excellence at 2.5 grade point average at minimum.
Yeah. And you can do all that. You can maintain that average without drugs and alcohol. Right. Okay.
Yes, and participate actively in it's complicated.
Well, I guess given the average IQ of most college students today, 2.5 might be top of the class. I don't know.
Well, abstain from promoting or participating in inappropriate activities such as swimming in Newman Lake, going into Wilson Hall Coppola, exploring the tunnels under the quad, attending parties that take place during the week of 1787 August orientation programming, and or other similar endeavors. Those must be the ones that really you want to really go to, actually.
Oh man, I can just envision Robin Williams doing Dead Poet Society 2 at this particular college. It would be great. Nanu,
Hello, fellow students. I'm Joe. I'm your frog.
Oh my goodness!
Went way too long. We got to go to a break.
Yeah, well, that's got to be one. We'll have to put that in the archive of the insane. Like, that's unbelievable. Okay, guys, look, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, I can try to get into something a little bit more serious, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I probably could sit here and listen about this all show, really. All right, guys, stay with us. We'll be right back here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go.
State Talk Radio, WRS Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Now, just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you. And they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, and I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and just a really kind of interesting lesson there. One of our great educational institutions out there, James Madison University, I guess.
Yes, I must apologize. I said it was in Ohio. No, it's in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Sorry, those folks in Ohio. You don't deserve James Madison University. That belongs in Virginia, where it's at.
Okay, all right, Virginia. No wonder West.
You wondered, John, just what would it cost to send your precious little snowflake to James Madison University? Well, just tuition alone is $26,000 for a full-time out-of-state undergraduate. And then if you add room, board, books, travel, personal loan fees, it comes up to $40,000, almost $41,000.
Yeah, so you're looking there at over $120,000 for a 4-year degree. Wow.
But you will have the best frogs there to guide you, at least the first year.
Well, that brings me to a topic. And the topic relates to what Joe's just saying here. Okay, and we it's fun to have talking about things like this. The conditioning and indoctrination that takes place in our educational system today, and right along that line, we have Hillary Clinton at her fundraiser, and if you've been watching the news at all or listening to any of the other talk programs and even this program, you know that by now there was a leak. Hillary Clinton was at another one of her fundraisers. This one was for the basement dwellers. The one she was at previously back in the 90s was for fundraisers talking about super predators, the black community. Those in the black
but
community.
Understand now, the basement dwellers, she never actually says the phrase basement dweller.
Well, actually, I think she actually does.
Well, she says the word
doesn't.
Basement.
Yeah,
but
she makes a reference to them dwelling in the basement, but doesn't call them basement dwellers. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I guarantee you, though, had Donald Trump said something like that, the name basement dwellers would have already been tagged to him, and it would have been, fact over fiction. It's just like today. I was listening. I caught on the news today. My wife was floating through the channels here, and I caught just a small snippet of her speech out there today, wherever she was at. I think she's in Ohio today, and talking about Donald Trump's. Now it's a $1 billion tax loss. Okay, they just went ahead and rounded it up. That's Obama math. We'll just round it up. A $1 billion tax loss. And talking about it like it's fact. They really don't have any facts as to what this is. Of course, Trump's not denying it. So, but here's the thing I heard.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. They're playing this like this is something that Donald Trump has kept from everybody. Okay, this is a secret. This is, the normal establishment types, who want to keep everything secret. They want to keep their bank accounts secret and everything else. And I was listening. It might have been Limbaugh this morning as I was coming back from the gym. I think it was that Donald Trump actually talked about this whole thing in his book. Okay, he actually talked about the whole thing in his book. And the things, some of the circumstances surrounding that period of time, 1995 was a bad year for a lot of people. A lot of people declared bankruptcy. There were a lot of big businesses that took hits
in various areas.
So
okay?
not just bankruptcy, John, just declared a loss.
Yeah, they just declared a loss. And as we pointed out there, it's not uncommon for people, especially those in real estate, to use depreciation as a way of writing off certain expenses and this, that, and the other. But the narrative is simply this: because Donald Trump did this in 1995, he hasn't paid any taxes for the last 20 years. That's the story. That's the narrative. Okay,
Yeah, right.
No factual basis for it, but we can base it on, well, if he could have, it's possible he could. And then it went to it's probable he did, to now it's of course he did, that kind of thing. But I'm digressing here. I want to get back to the story that ties in with Joe's little tour of James Madison University. The fundraiser that she was at, where she's talking about the basement dwellers, I've got the entire clip here because I've been hearing so many things about this. I thought I've got to get the actual clip.
Yeah. So why don't you play that thing then?
Yeah. So I'm gonna put the clip up here, and let me pull it up here. I got it down here. There it is. Okay. We'll put this up here, and we're gonna play this, and you're gonna hear the entire thing. Now I'll probably stop it in between here as we talk about it because it's a 5-minute clip. And we'll see what we can get out of this, what we can glean out of this. I learned a new word from Megyn Kelly last night. Glean. What do you glean out of this story? Okay, so we're going to glean right here. This is Hillary Clinton and the actual leaked audio tape at the fundraiser where she disparages Bernie Sanders people.
Some are new to politics completely. They're children of the Great Recession, and they are living in their parents' basement. They feel that they got their education, and the jobs that are available to them are not at all what they envisioned for themselves, and they don't see much of a future. I met with a group of young black millennials today, and one of the young women said, none of us feel like we have the job that we should have gotten out of college, and we don't believe that the job market is going to give us much of a chance. So that is a mindset that is really affecting their politics. And so if you're feeling that you're consigned to, being a barista or, some other job that doesn't pay a lot and doesn't have much of a ladder of opportunity attached to it, then the idea that maybe, just maybe, you could be part of a political revolution is pretty appealing. So I think we all should be really understanding of that, and we should try to do the best we can. Not to be, a wet blanket on idealism. You want people to be idealistic. You want them to set big goals, but to take what we can achieve now and try to present them as bigger goals. I mean, getting our country to 100% universal coverage is a big deal. Getting that Affordable Care Act to work better for people, getting the costs down so that people feel that they can afford the care that they now have access to, that's a big deal. Going after infrastructure, manufacturing, combating climate change by setting some big goals like 500 million new solar panels by the end of my first term and enough clean power to power every home in America by the end of my second term, that's a big goal. So what we have to do, and what I'm trying to do, is to make the case that we've got ideals, we've got big goals, but we also believe that the path to progress is one that you just have to get up every day and work on. You have to make it your life's work if you do this full time. You have to make it part of your civic responsibility for others, and just keep making that case. It's not as glamorous. It's not as exciting. It doesn't promise a revolution. I mean, I'm still trying to understand the revolution part, because here's how I think about it. And Senator Sanders sort of alludes to this. In order to have the revolution...
All right, your take on that, Joe. What do you got? What your take on that?
There's a lot of it. There's so much there. Let's see. Where do you start? Oh, they don't feel they got the jobs because they're part of the great... How did she put it? The great... they're children of the Great Recession. The Great Recession, yes. Yeah. And it's been helped along and so mightily by Hillary and Barack that their jobs that they thought they were going to have, they just weren't going to get. Well, if you go ahead and you have to worry about, as a precious little snowflake, you have to worry about getting your feelings hurt by someone saying, you have a pretty face today.
Yeah, now I couldn't quite hear the audio here on my end.
Say to people. So if you're worried about that, and then Hillary wants to go have some 7 billion solar panels installed somewhere. Of course, we've tried this before, and it hasn't worked. But and we always have to subsidize it through tax dollars. You just don't have enough money for this, Hillary. None of your programs will ever have enough money for this. That's the problem. It's all been tried before, and the reason why it doesn't ever work, because it's never going to work. It's a doom for failure from the beginning.
Well, to me, the emphasis, I get that. The emphasis here that we got to keep this in context here, okay? The context is she's talking to elite fund donors, okay? The people with the big bucks, all right? And she is trying, which I get it, like, on one hand, she's trying to explain what she thinks is going on in the millennial community. Okay, that these kids are going to college, they're accruing debt.
Yeah. Here's the problem with that.
They don't look
she's
out there
talking to
and
these
see
people,
anything
and
worth.
she's trying not to be condescending, but she is.
Yeah. She's kind of like trying to lay the the groundwork before these elitists as to why the millennials are the way they are. Okay, they're trying hard. They're out there at college, paying $40,000 a year so they can all become good frogs. And here we are. They're just not getting. They're not getting any bang for their buck. That's kind of the idea here.
No,
right?
what she really wanted to say, John, is if she was that age at this time, she would be one of them.
Right. Okay. All right. Now, I'm not sure if she said this yet. Did she talk about her position that she's trying to occupy from center left to center right? That's probably in the latter part of the clip here. What we got to do is we got to take a break because that's the meat that I want to talk about here.
Yeah, let's see if you get to that. I don't think you quite got to that part yet.
Okay, all right. We'll play that when we get back here. So just stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go.
The Syndicate wants you. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. You can get all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. That's theconservativesyndicate.net.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I am your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we are talking here about a couple of things. Well, mainly school right now. We're really trying to focus here on this topic that we talked about yesterday. We breached it yesterday, talking about the millennials and why they're not really in the Clinton camp right now. And I say that because I don't know if they'll be able to sway them to get into the Clinton camp. I'm not really sure if that's going to happen or not. But I do know that there's one of two strategies here from the Clinton camp, and that is if you aren't going to vote for Hillary, then don't vote at all.
Yes, just stay away. Don't do anything. Just stay home.
Yeah. That seems to be pretty evident that is the strategy, and they're going to do it by trying to just paint Trump as the worst of all things. Trump is the worst of the 1%. That's the game plan, guys. That's what they're going for.
And Hillary's the best of the 1%?
Yeah, and she is the best of the 1% because after all, even though she's corrupt, crooked, and evil, she still has the middle America, and she still has children's hearts. It's at the center of everything that she does. And we know that because her husbands told us that. We know that because her daughters told us that. My mom and my wife, it's all about the kids. All right, it's all about the kids. So we were playing this clip from this leaked audio clip from the fundraiser in which she is talking about the millennials.
Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion.
That's right. So I'm going to play. I'm going to put the clip back on here where we left off at here because there's a certain spot I'm looking for. There's a certain spot in this thing. And it's when she gets to the place where she tries to tell where she's at compared to what everybody else is out there saying. And I have quite a bit that I want to say about this. So let's put this the rest of this clip back on here.
First, we have to take back the Senate and get to 60 votes. Then we've got to take back the House. And that may require some redistricting in order to get people out of safe Republican seats so they can be competitive again. I think we're already in like year 6 or 7 of a 2-year term. So, those of us who understand this, who've been experienced, who've worked in it, know that it's a false promise. But I don't think you tell idealistic people, particularly young people, that they bought into a false promise. You try to do the best you can to say, hey, That's his view. That's what he is offering you. But here's another way where actually we can achieve a lot of what we have said starting day one and make a real difference in people's lives. And I tell them all the time, it is important to recognize what's going on in this election. Everybody who's ever been in any election that I'm aware of is quite bewildered because there is a strain of, on the one hand, a kind of populist, nationalist, xenophobic, discriminatory kind of approach that we hear too much of from the Republican candidates. And on the other side, there's just a deep desire to believe that, we can have free college, free health care, that what we've done hasn't gone far enough and we just need to, go as far as, Scandinavia, whatever that means. And half the people don't know what it means, but it is something that they deeply feel. So as a friend of mine said the other day, I am occupying from the center left to the center right. And I don't have much company there because it is difficult when you're running to be president and you understand how hard the job is. I don't want to overpromise. I don't want to tell people things that I know we cannot do. I want to level with the American people.
All right, there you go. There's the punchline right there. And that's why I wanted to keep the context. That's what I was looking for, to keep the context here. She's, in one hand, she's telling us about the millennials. She's pointing out to us that they're really, their heart's in the right place, but they don't really have too much knowledge about what's going on. She makes a reference that they're, they want a system kind of like Scandinavia. Okay, so what she's doing there is she's reciting the Bernie Sanders thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Bernie Sanders' platform right there. We need to have free college, free health care. We need to be doing it. Scandinavia can do it. Damn it, why can't America do it?
Yeah, Finland and Scandinavia and some of these other small socialist European theaters here. What she's saying is that they want that democratic socialist platform, which is what she is out there talking about. She's now out there touting it, out on the campaign trail. And when she's at her rallies, she's talking about this in the rallies. She brings this up. It's a common theme here. All right. So,
and she's trying to put herself center left, center right. What the hell is that, John?
Yeah. Well, it's how you talk to elitist donors. That's what it is. You're telling them. Actually, you're saying to them, "Hey, But here's my point, though, because we're coming up on a break here. Here's my point. My point is, she then comes out and says, it's difficult when you're running to be president, and you understand how hard the job is. I don't know if she's talking about the job of president or the job of running for president. But what she does say, I don't want to overpromise. I don't want to tell people things that we cannot do. So what she's telling the elitist donors in the room right there is one thing. She's saying, I'm telling them what they want to hear, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to overpromise. Everything I said in the first part of that clip is absolutely overpromising.
Yeah. So it's like you tell your kids want that new car, and you say, we'll see. Or maybe, not right now, but what next time, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's going on here. So she is really kind of playing both ends against the middle here. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll continue right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
Certain people are so focused on toppling America that they will even try to convince the world that protecting our borders is now bigoted. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, the Islamic bloc at the United Nations has joined forces with the likes of President Obama, Mrs. Clinton, Harry Reid, and all American progressives who have labeled presidential candidate Donald Trump and right-wing politicians in Europe who want to protect the sovereignty of their respective nations as xenophobes and bigots. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation also condemned the media outlets who report on Islamic terrorism. The Islamists blame the reporting on terrorism rather than the terrorism itself for causing civilized people to not to want to be around Muslims. I'm sorry, but the Quran instructs Muslims to kill, enslave, or brutally overtax non-Muslims. And talk about bigots. It's the Muslims who are taught from birth to hate Jews and that black people have no souls and are raisin heads. Let's not forget, it was Muslims who declared war on America and the West in 1979. So yes, America will soon protect our borders, and if progressives and Muslims don't like it, too bad. I'm Ron Edwards.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. The Conservative Syndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right, hey, we're back. Hour two right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We're glad to have you with us today. And, boy, you know, I was on a panel last week, and I remember the host of the show I was on, trying to introduce me, and he kept screwing up when he kept saying the Conservative Syndicate. And he kept apologizing. And at one point he said, yeah, try to say that fast 3 times. You know, I'm saying, hey, buddy, I do it every single day. I screw it up every single day, at least once, sometimes more. So glad to have you with us on the show that is hard to pronounce, but not hard to understand. All right, if that makes any sense. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. And how do we want to close this particular conversation up, Joe? Is there something you wanted to... I'm trying to think of a really climatic way of... Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. No, you know, I'm sitting here screwing with sound levels all day today, so I hear that noise and I'm going, oh no, not another problem.
No. There's just some frogs out there, John. We're all just a bunch of... Well, got to be a frog. If you're having problems, I'm sorry, freshmen. If you're having some problems at school this year, go see your frog, okay?
Yeah, find your safe space. Go see your frog. Find your safe space, and we'll get you a counselor, the pajama boy. You know, that kind of thing. So anyway,
don't worry. I'm sorry. You might feel sorry for yourself because school isn't free yet.
Oh! I know how I want to close this up. This is how we can close this conversation up. Okay. I got the clip here. Another clip. That's what it was. I had a clip here that I wanted to play here, and we're talking about the fact that what's going on here is the Clinton campaign, in my opinion right now, is trying to discourage. This attacks against Donald Trump isn't trying to lure anybody from the Trump camp over there. It's not trying to get, particularly trying to reach out to the Bernie Sanders people to vote for her because she knows that there's a lack of connection there. So the objective and the game plan is to try to dissuade them from voting at all. And this is very seldom have we ever seen a campaign where the objective was to try to keep people from going to the polls. But when you can't run in your own record, and then you have to paint the other person as the super bad, Satan of the West kind of thing, then the natural occurrence would be what? All these new voters, whether they be in the Sanders camp or the Trump camp, we got to try to do everything we can to keep them home. And even the disgruntled Republicans, those who are lined up behind Jeb Bush and some of the other people on the right in the GOP, and it's like, let's all just go to Denny's on Election Day instead of going out and voting. So I got this clip here I wanted to play. This is a clip from MSNBC. What's her name? Stephanie Ruhle. And she is. This is from last night, and she's at the Farmville University out there, where the debate tonight between Tim Kaine and Mike Pence is supposed to take place. The battle of the no-names, apparently, if the polls are right. So anyway, she's talking to the millennial women. The idea is that all the women are just behind Hillary. She's just the greatest thing since, Mother Teresa, that kind of thing. And she's asked about the attitude and the feelings of the millennials out there where she's at. So I'm just going to play this clip. It's about 40 seconds long. And then we'll go to our break and we'll come back. We'll have Don Dix with us from Act for America. We can get his comment on it, too. So here it is. Here's a clip. Stephanie Ruhle from MSNBC.
Governor Granholm, last night I had the very fortunate opportunity to hang out at a sorority house here at Longwood, and when I asked the women if they felt connected to Hillary Clinton, they were very, very proud to see a woman get the nomination, but they didn't feel a connection to her. I want to actually ask the crowd behind me. So Hillary Clinton as a candidate, do you feel connected to her? I want to ask the women in the room. What do you think this disconnect is? I mean, clearly, Governor Granholm, you are with her. We're seeing Hillary Clinton pick up steam with more women every day. But why this younger generation, these millennials, do you believe there's this disconnect?
I wish I knew. I mean, the young people that I have been.
Okay, so Hillary Clinton's picking up women every day, just steamrolling, man. She just got that woman vote behind her and everything, but none of them are the millennials. And so it just supports my contention here that that's what we're talking about here. The idea is to get these women to stay home. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Just go down to your local Obamacare center, get your free contraception, and spend the night out at a rave somewhere. And just have a good time because we don't really need you to vote, okay? And don't, even if you vote for Gary Johnson, okay, anything, a vote for Gary Johnson or a vote for Donald Trump or no vote at all. Okay, that's really what it is. They're just trying to dissuade everything that's going on right now with the Clinton camp. She cannot get a good segment, a good part, or a good hunk of the Sanders people. So the object of the game here is let's just dissuade them from voting. That's what all this other stuff is. That's why. We're hearing the comments about them being oblivious and not understanding what it is that's really going on. They really don't understand what's at stake. They just want free stuff. And I can't give them, I'm promising them all free stuff. But to you, my wealthy donors, you know that we can't give them everything that they want. We'll float that democratic socialist platform that Bernie Sanders loves because we know these kids all want to be, governments like Scandinavia and Finland, but we're not really going to go that route. So anyway, I'm going to play our commercials here. We'll come back and we'll have Don Dix from Act for America with us. We'll get his take on this. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. The ConservativeSyndicate.net. Doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. Okay, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. We've got with us Don Dix. I don't think we've had Don on for a couple of weeks. I think because of circumstances here at our little cubby hole, otherwise referred to as my station or my board, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I'm in one of those things, man. I'm in one of those moods. How are you doing today, Don?
Well, I'm doing fine, John. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, we missed last week. Of course, that was the the debate week. We witnessed this trial balloon that got floated in terms of the two candidates talking to each other, at each other, around each other, over each other. And so yeah, we're back. Lots happened over the past couple of weeks.
I know it does seem like it's been quite a bit of time. It's been a longer week than normal, I guess.
It certainly feels like that.
Yeah. So we played a little clip here with the Stephanie Rule over at MSNBC, down there at Farmville, Virginia, and apparently the consensus is, I'm kind of surprised it actually got on the air. That she was allowed to show that a lot of women, the millennials, the Bernie Sanders folks, or the Gary Johnson folks at this point in time, and I'm sure some of them are even Donald Trump types. Anyway, apparently there is a massive disconnect between millennial women and Hillary Clinton. I guess the soccer moms and those women are pretty much locked into place with the Clinton camp. But what do you think? What do you take away from that? The fact that she just can't connect with the millennials.
Well, there's a lot going on under the current. One of the things that's interesting along those lines, I did a little bit of digging, and apparently somebody else did some too, because I wanted to see just how Donald Trump was resonating on social media compared to Hillary Clinton. So I went out and I looked. Now, you would think millennials would be the people that would be, most active on social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or any of the other options that they have in order to communicate and express themselves, particularly in this election cycle. And I noticed anecdotally, and then apparently someone else noticed and actually did a much more in-depth review, that Donald Trump has, I think, 4 million more Facebook likes than Hillary Clinton. He has more Twitter followers than Hillary Clinton, more Instagram followers than Hillary Clinton. And when you look across the what I guess is commonly referred to as post-engagement. So post-engagement meaning are people liking it, commenting on it, sharing it? Donald Trump is thumping Hillary Clinton, just thumping her in terms of post engagement. So you would think that based on the people you see showing up at a Donald Trump rally, people that you see showing up at, these events that, and by the way, he is absolutely mopping the floor with her in terms of turnout. There was this big kerfuffle about Donald Trump, saying, I turned away 12,000 people, and the media took issue with that number. And the police said, well, it's probably more like 8,000. Well, in reality, Hillary Clinton has not had more than 12,000 documented attendees at her rallies in total since August 1st.
Right.
So there is some sort of a disconnect that's happening. I don't know. The curious thing to me, though, John, maybe you haven't thought about this because we haven't had a chance, like you said, to talk in a while. How come this isn't showing up in the polls? These polls show the two people in this dead heat. Are the polls that manipulatable that it doesn't indicate any of what we see happening in, on social media? Whereas you started out, you said millennials disconnect. You would think that the millennials would be flooding Hillary Clinton's social media accounts with responses, engagement, and sharing. But in actuality, it's us old-timers that are thumping them in terms of our engagement in social media as it relates to supporting Donald Trump's social media efforts. So why isn't this translating in any meaningful way to the polls?
Well, we started the show out, and before I get into my comment here, there's something on your side there. You're either rustling papers or you're banging your microphone, but there's something scratching there. So whatever's going on there, you might want to check it out here while I'm talking here.
I think I can tell you what it is.
I don't really care what it is. I wanted you to fix it.
I'm growing a beard because I want to be Santa Claus in the fall in this winter, and I think it's the beard scratching the microphone. So I apologize.
Okay, all right. That's what you get for growing a beard, dude. All right.
All right.
That's all right. Now, my thing here is that just what you were saying. We were talking at the beginning of the show. The media's out there trying to tell us that last week with Donald Trump is the worst. It's the worst of any presidential candidate in history. As far as as far as they can tell. Okay, and we were talking about the fact that just in August, just as recently as August, they were saying the same thing. Donald Trump just had his worst week. It was right after the DNC convention, and he attacked the Gold Star family and all this. And they were saying, oh, man, and Hillary Clinton was in double digits. She had a double-digit gap over Donald Trump. So I'm sitting there looking at it today, and the most skewed poll only shows Clinton up by like 7 points. So that was the same thing I'm thinking. I'm going, how can this be the worst week that Donald Trump's ever had? And we're still looking at single digit, if the polls are even accurate. See, I'm not even, I'm not even sure we can put any weight in the polls anymore, as I've pointed out before, because I don't think anybody's really polling these people like the millennials or the Donald Trump supporters. I think they're using old information, old data banks, old donor lists, or whatever to poll what they need to kind of continue to paint this picture that Trump is in the tank. And what Joe and I have been going by is the gauge, as you mentioned, the number of people showing up at rallies. I can't believe that we would have 12,000 people show up at a Donald Trump rally, and 8,000 of them would be Hillary Clinton supporters that are just there to check out the scenery.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
And even if you account for protesters or Black Lives Matter people or people that just Occupy Wall Street people or whatever, you're not even hearing about those people at these rallies anymore. So I can't sit there and say it has to be what we can visually look at. We can say, geez, Trump has still got to be pulling in some massive amount of support, and I don't see Hillary Clinton in the lead here. And I think that's why some of the things, that's why we're watching this barrage of another bimbo eruption, if we can use that phrase, that we have a ex-Miss Universe failed porn star. I mean, she failed at Miss Universe and she failed at porn. I mean, now there's a liberal for you. Okay, she's a poster child for liberalism. But you're looking at all this, and I'm just saying, I'm sorry. What you're telling me doesn't equate with what I'm able to measure. And it's just amazing, right?
Well, it is. And, even now, as Ohio, where she was yesterday, doing 2 talks, and Pat Cadell, who's a pollster, commented on how desperate the media is now to explain the shift that's occurring in, Ohio has always been regarded as a bellwether state. Mm-hmm. This is the state that, you got to win in order to make sure that you secure the presidency.
Right.
Well, guess what? Ohio, according to the media now, is no longer relevant because, the demographics have shifted and it's nothing but a bunch of white, bigoted, middle-class people living there now. It's no longer the bellwether. It's no longer a swing state. Well, BS. What's happening in Ohio? She did 2 events there yesterday, one in Akron and one in Toledo. There's a reporter that goes out on the ground. Her name is Millennial Millie. I don't know if you've ever watched any of her videos, but she loves. Okay, well, she's great. You should check out some of her videos because she goes behind the scenes and tells you what's actually going on at the Hillary Clinton rallies. Well, she goes into Ohio to report at what's happening at a Clinton campaign headquarters and what's happening at the Clinton Akron. Now, she's part of the media. She couldn't even get the location of the Toledo event. It wasn't published. It was another controlled campaign event, just like the one that was in Philadelphia at Temple University, if you remember that one. They had to bus in high school students. None of the students at Temple University that were interviewed even knew that Hillary Clinton was on their campus. It was a totally controlled campaign event with about 250 chairs, and you could even hear in the cheering that there was it wasn't a big event. Uh-huh. And then you saw the room full of almost another 150 and 200 media people there after the campaign event had all cleared out that were there pushing out all their, articles and posts. And there wasn't even anybody at this rally. Wow. So this was almost a quasi-Clinton press conference without the benefit of any questions. So now you've got the media tripping over themselves to explain what's actually going on in Ohio and then excusing it as, there's been this demographic shift.
And put this in. Let's put this in context. I want to interrupt you here just for a second. Let's put this in context. Ohio, the place where John Kasich is governor, who came out and adamantly said he would never vote for Trump, and the media was all over that like white on rice. They were just like, John Kasich, she'll get Ohio now because the governor of Ohio just thinks Trump is just the worst thing in the world. And yet, she's losing there, right?
She's losing it, yes. and furthermore, we're beginning to learn, I don't know if you saw the reports about voter fraud in Virginia, and now the same organization has gone into Philadelphia, and the amount of voter fraud that's directly related on one aspect to this motor voter rule that requires states to have the checkbox. Well, it turns out in Virginia, the people that were checking the box never got the follow-up. It's against their administrative procedure in Virginia for them to do the follow-up to ensure that they're citizens. And what they're now finding is that in 8 counties, and the commissioner of voting actually shut this down once he knew what they were after. But in the 8 counties that they got their reports, over 1,047 illegal aliens had registered to vote, and 200 of them had actually voted in previous elections. Now, get this. The attorney general in Virginia won their election. A Democrat won that election by 163 votes. The state's attorney general won the Virginia election by 163 votes. So you tell me that voter fraud is not important, and the people that excuse this, that say that voter fraud isn't an issue, are the ones that are not acknowledging the fact that, I don't care whether it's one person or thousands of people, voter fraud institutionally is wrong. But they're saying that some voter fraud is like collateral damage in the effort to bring people out of the shadows. When 200 illegal aliens voted in an election that the Democrat Attorney General won by 163 votes. So this is one of the bigger concerns for me, is that the Democratic Party, realizing that they're having this enthusiasm gap. What you started out by talking about was that the disconnect with the female millennials. As this stuff is starting to sink in, now we're beginning to get evidence that there's institutional voter fraud in these swing states.
Oh yeah, and you didn't even mention Pennsylvania, where they've got a big.
I said Philadelphia, but yeah, that's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. They've got the, we remember in 2012 election, what? We had 2 counties in Pennsylvania had 106% turnout. Okay, so
right. Yes.
We got to go to a quick break here. When we come back, we'll continue this, because I had a couple more things I wanted to mention about what's going on with this voter fraud here. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't.
State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Expand your life with Expandovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Expand your life with Expandovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Now, just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you. And they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we have with us Don Dix from Act for America, and we're talking about the voter fraud. We've evolved from talking about millennials, a disconnect, Hillary Clinton's speech to elitist donors about the fact that she's basically adapting Bernie Sanders' platform of democratic socialism for the purpose of trying to woo the millennials over into the Clinton camp, but she really doesn't have any intent of fulfilling any of those promises, because you know how hard it is to run as president. You got to lie through your teeth to get there. And it's just I can't be promising everybody everything, but yet she is promising everybody everything. So just another thing there. Don had brought up this fact, this story here. I have the story in front of me also here. I had it on my list of things to talk about today. Over 1,000 illegals have actually registered, and some of them have actually voted. I found it kind of funny that they said the ones that got caught actually voting were caught because they went back to renew their license and got busted when they went back to renew their license. And then we had the story of, I've never forgotten the stories. We had counties in or districts in Ohio and Pennsylvania. I think it was in Ohio they had over 100% turnout, and in Pennsylvania they had districts where every single voter voted for Barack Obama. Nobody voted for Mitt Romney at all. I think that's how it was broke down. Am I right, Joe? Is my memory intact there?
That's pretty close, John. There's things in the Pennsylvania one. These are districts that didn't have like 10 people in it. There's thousands of people in that district, and not a one of them voted for Romney. Yeah, I know it was a pretty large number, and you would think, that there's got to be a poor whitey there somewhere that would have voted for Romney. It's just, I'm sorry, just the way it is. I lived about 40 miles south of Philadelphia for a couple of years, and I know the neighborhoods there are very segregated, but there are white neighborhoods there. Okay, so. Anyway, getting back to this topic here on the voter fraud, I also, in my research here, found an article by PJ Media, Christian Adams, Manipulating U.S. Elections, 10 Ways Voting is Being Hacked by the Left.
And this is a pretty intensive article here. He lists 10 ways that he sees the liberals trying to manipulate the vote. And some of them have been going on for quite a while. This isn't something new. This isn't something that just materialized in the Barack Obama election. I think it's just that Barack Obama was able to capitalize on it better because he has a much more solid organization. You got to hand it to him. He built himself quite an organization, quite a big conglomeration of boots out there that went out and did all the dirty work. I'm not gonna read the whole article here, but I'm gonna pick out some of the ones that I just see and get your take on this, Don and Joe. Number one is, of course, block citizenship verification. Now, the thing about Virginia that was keen to their situation over there is that they do not require any type of ID when you go apply for an ID. You don't have to prove who you are. I'm thinking, wow, what a place to live. That should be the terrorist mecca.
Well, it is, dude, because Fairfax County, one of the largest counties in Virginia, is where one of the biggest problematic mosques in America outside of Detroit is. This is the mosque where, for a period of time, Anwar al-Awlaki was an imam. I mean, I could go on, and I don't want to distract from the thread of our conversation. But the point is, yes, it is a place where a lot of that kind of activity is happening in a large degree because of what you just said, the loose structure. And by the way, we have a presidential debate tonight. Where's the vice president from? The Democratic candidate's vice president candidate from?
Ooh, Mr. Carter, I know.
Virginia.
Yeah.
My name's not Virginia.
Well, yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, and that kind of leads me to one of the other things that's going on here. Okay, felon reenfranchisement. Where did that start? That started in Virginia. Okay,
yes.
We had Terry McLaughlin out there trying to reinstate 250,000 felons to vote, and he was taken to court. And now I guess he's been able to at least push 17,000 of them because now he's going down. I guess he spends his day signing these orders one by one. I mean, now if that isn't desperation, I don't know what is. If you're going to,
what did the governor just sign in California?
Huh?
What did Governor Brown just sign in California?
Well, I think out here, didn't he sign the? I don't know. Are you talking about felonies out here?
Yeah, he just signed into law that certain types of felons in state prisons are eligible to be registered to vote for felons with nonviolent crimes.
Oh, I get it. That went over my head here. I was thinking of the other thing he did, which was the legislation that he signed, I think, early this year, that mandates that people getting driver's licenses have to be asked if they want to vote. Oh, no, they have to be asked, not asked, they have to be told that they need to vote, that they need to register to vote, and they can opt out. It's not like, do you want to vote? Right. It's you have to vote or do you want to opt out, that kind of thing. And the wording is everything. So, yeah, and not that it'll matter out here with Kamala Harris and Loretta Sanchez. It's going to be, the Satan sisters, for crying out loud, one way or the other. But so we're talking about, Virginia. They're Terry McLaughlin out
felons.
There. Go ahead, Don. Go ahead.
No, with felons. I was just saying that. Well, the same organization that did this report in Virginia, I'm looking for their name. Their initials are PILF. I can't remember the name. But they just did, and they released today another report showing that thousands of ineligible felons and aliens are also on the Philadelphia voter rolls. Now, apparently in Philadelphia, they've taken no preventative steps to remove alien registrations or prevent felons from getting onto the voter rolls in Philadelphia. And furthermore, they don't even think it's a problem there.
Right.
So you've got that same problem if it's an alien or a convicted felon who's incarcerated or in a halfway house, they can vote in Philadelphia. This is just crazy stuff.
Yeah, and that's actually what you're talking about here is number 6 on this list from PJ Media. They call it dirty voter rolls. The leftist groups are opposing efforts to clean voter rolls across the country. Millions of phony and obsolete registration infects the rolls. And we know what really happens in this kind of thing, much more than having people that should be taken off the list because of criminal records or whatever. What we find is we have people. This is what allows people to vote in multiple precincts. What's happening is somebody lives in this county over here and they move to this county over here and they register over here, but they're not removed from the other one. And so they get a ballot from both precincts and they vote. And we know this has been a problem. I remember in 2012, one of the candidates for Congress up in Maryland had to pull out of the race because they found out she voted in Maryland and Florida because she used to have a residence in Florida. And she voted for Barack Obama twice. And so she actually had to pull out of the race because when that came to the surface, it kind of killed her chances here. To me, I'll tell you the one that I think on this list that I'm looking at here that I think bothers me the most is the early voting. Early voting, to me, that really bothers me. I don't think people should be allowed to vote by mail. I don't. I think if you don't have the gumption to go down to your local polling place. I mean, in my neighborhood, and we're talking about a very heavily liberal neighborhood, polling places just within 1 square mile of my home, there's 4 polling places that are open every single election. I mean, it's like you don't have to walk you can walk less than a quarter mile to get there. It's like, there's every opportunity to vote. And the idea that you're just too lazy to make it down there, I'm sorry. I mean, the law says that your employer has to let you vote, so you can't sit there and tell me you can't do it because of work.
Yeah. One that gets me, John, it's the same day registration one. In other words, you can get a bunch of people just ride up and say, hey, here's $10. We're going to ride. I'll buy you breakfast, but we're going to stop off here at this polling place and you're going to vote.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been number 2 on my list, is the same day registration that you just walk in. The other one is really got me just kind of wigged out is the out of precinct voting, where you can, if you don't happen to be in your local precinct when election time comes around, there are places where you just walk into any precinct and vote. I'm like, give me a freaking break, for crying out loud.
Now, in California is a unique state with regard to that particular issue, because unlike other states, because of the California state administrators, the Secretary of State, blame this particular problem on the fact that California is so big. But there is a federal guideline that mandates that states coordinate the voter rolls among the counties to make sure there's no duplication. Well, guess what? That's not done in California. Right. So if you live in San Bernardino County and you're registered there and you move to LA County, you re-register there. There is no automatic process for removing you off of the San Bernardino County voter roll because the state doesn't do it. Right. They have absolutely no database that coordinates the registration between these between counties in California.
Yeah. We got to go to a quick break here. When we come back, I'm going to look at number 10 on our list here. I know you don't have the list on, but Joe's got it, and we'll pop it at you when we get back here. This one has been, I think, probably at the crux of much of the debate that's been taking place in this country since the left have really been able to advance their agenda. I think I first heard this start surfacing after the 2000 election between Al Gore and George Bush Jr. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
The Syndicate wants you. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. You can get all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. That's theconservativesyndicate.net.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and this is the Conservative Syndicate. We want to encourage you to visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and pick up this show, any of our shows, any of them at all. Everything that we do, everything about our show is on our website. You can find out why we do what we do, the way we do it. That's the conservativesyndicate.net. All right, we have Don Dix with us here from Act for America, and we're talking about the voter situation here. And I'm going over an article that was published out here at PJ Media, 10 ways that the left has been circumventing and undercutting the election process. And it's been going on for quite a while. And it's really coming to a head right now. I think it's really will probably play more of a part in this election than any previous election because Hillary just is not putting the numbers up that the media would have you believe she's got. We know that from some of the guests that we've had on the show, we know that in particular the black vote is really small in numbers compared to the turnouts for Barack Obama in both 2008, 2012. You remember we had Patricia Dixon here from American Thinker telling us that it's down to from 85% down to 60%. We know from the numbers that we gave you yesterday in the show here, the Hispanic vote, 56% of the Hispanic vote did not vote in 2012. 69% of those without high school diplomas who were eligible to vote did not vote. You know, we gave you a whole breakdown there. And this is in 2012. This is when Barack Obama was still the Messiah. So now we got Hillary Clinton, who's actually Lucifer's sister, and we're looking at, the votes aren't there. They're going to have to do whatever they can do to get those votes, and they've got a whole long list of strategies here. Number 10 on our list.
Can I say one thing before you do that?
I'm sorry?
I just want to interject one thing before you do this.
Okay.
Before you bring up this last point. There are so many areas. We're talking about this voter issue right now. As you know, national security is one of the areas that I have spent a considerable amount of time researching. We were possibly talking about Obamacare today. There is this immense list of stuff that every day when these current events bubble up to the top, like this report on voter fraud in Virginia, that we meaning, because we talk about this stuff a lot, we've got to dive down that rabbit hole to learn the history and the context of some of these things that are happening right now in the political realm as current events. And as I have, and I got to guess this is true for you too, John, as I dive down these rabbit holes and learn more and more and more, the gravity of this particular election and how important it is to get it right, meaning keeping Hillary Clinton from the Oval Office is, I mean, it's immense. You know, if as imperfect as Donald Trump is, if Hillary Clinton is elected on November 8th, we as Americans can expect the things that we're seeing now to get much, much, much worse and quickly. And I mean, if people feel like their head is spinning right now at the pace of the Republic's destruction, if you're one of the people out there that's taken the time to really dig into some of these topics, just wait until January 20th. Because if Hillary Clinton is the president of the United States, not only is your head going to be spinning, it's probably going to get literally ripped off.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no, I mean, the consequence of this from a national security perspective, you know, we were talking about Hillary Clinton's relationships with Islamists. We've barely even, you know, scratched the surface in our conversations about her email, about Benghazi, about the pay for play happening in the Clinton Foundation. I mean, and then of course you said the bimbo eruption with Miss Universe. Well, this has been a part of Hillary Clinton's life, is tamping down bimbos. Thank God she allowed one of them to actually speak this time. But this is the way they operate. And if you think, I'm beginning to think that the lack of a release by Julian Assange last night, you know, there was all this hype about, you know, a new release of documents that was going to be coming out. And then he had to change the venue from the balcony of the Ecuadorian embassy to a televised conference. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if, you know, there was some kind of a credible threat that emanated from the people in Hillary Clinton's circles. This woman is dangerous. She's dangerous for America. Look at what's happening in Virginia with voter fraud. These people will stoop at nothing to capture the power of the presidency in order to continue to advance the march towards the cliff of the Republic of America.
Oh, I totally agree with you. In fact, rather than finish up the thread, I want to add to what you were saying. One of the things that I've seen out there amongst our quote unquote conservative friends, I'll say that for lack of a better way of phrasing it right now, but I've got people that are telling me that they are not going to vote this election because they're in good conscience. They can't vote for either one. Now, let me present the argument because I want to build on what you were saying about Hillary Clinton, what's going to happen to this country, how the left is going to go on steroids if she wins. The argument was presented by one particular lady was along the lines of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both support Planned Parenthood. So I can't in good conscience vote for either one of them, even though Donald Trump says, you know, no abortion, but he still thinks that Planned Parenthood does some good things. I can't in good conscience vote for either one of them. Okay, well, my response to her was this. Look, if Hillary Clinton gets elected, if you think Planned Parenthood is just going to remain Planned Parenthood and just do what it's been doing, you are sadly mistaken, naive, and maybe even stupid, because what Planned Parenthood will become is the Auschwitz of America. Agenda 21 is not far away. The idea that we're going to start, the leftist agenda is what? You want to start depopulating the United States of people that aren't going to contribute to the state, people that are opposed to the state. This is going to be the Negro Project across the board and expand it out to every other aspect of the population that is not conducive and not productive for the leftist agenda. For instance, everybody's going to have free health care. Well, Obamacare is dying. It's imploding. Hillary Clinton wants single payer. That still has to be paid for. So what are we going to start doing? We're going to start picking and choosing who lives and dies. And if you're not a productive, if you're too old or you're not productive, you know, maybe your disability, you're taking too much money up in a state hospital or something like that, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. Planned Parenthood will become the oven, the gas ovens of that we saw in Nazi Germany. They will become an extension of this agenda to replace our population one way or another with third world refugees, illegal immigrants that don't mind being pushed around and told what to do. And so that's really where we're at here. That's to me, that's how serious it is. And having said that, Don, no, I got to let you go here. I'm out of time. I'm down to my last minute, actually. You guys want to check out Don's website, actforamerica.org, and find out what he's doing out there. Great job out there. I'm sorry to have to cut you off, Don.
No problem, John.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. God bless. Guys, we will see you tomorrow. Same time, same station here. 3 o'clock out here in the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast. God love you. We'll talk to you. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hako, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.